All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Governmental Affairs. We have a slim crowd here today, but we do have a quorum, and I feel like they'll begin trickling in the next few minutes. The members will. Welcome to the Capitol. If you've never been before, I hope you enjoy your experience today. I have a few rules that I'm going to give you before we begin these two hearings, and then we will start a clock because we're being fair to all three cities. All three cities are going to get 1 hour of testimony. Well, one's already had it. I'm sorry. One had it last week, and the other two will have their hearings today. Today, if you will, please make sure you silence your cell phones. And please note that this meeting is to hear these two bills, and that no vote will be taken today. It's a hearing only. There will be no applause, no outbursts, cheering, unruly comments. If there are, we will either, I don't feel like we're going to have this, but we'll either have folks removed or we'll adjourn the meeting. To optimize time, please take your place in line. I will call on a number of people, and if you will just go ahead and get behind the other right there at the podium, and then when that person finishes, you can step right up to the podium. When it's time for you to speak, please introduce yourself. If you're with a group, feel free to identify that. And the way that this committee meeting will work is is that you, Representative? Surely. Anyway, the way this process will work is our sponsor of the bill will come forward and present the bill. We will take questions from the committee members, and then those who want to testify, we have a sign-in sheet. And where is it, Craig? Oh, he's picked it up already. So we'll begin hearing from after the questions are posed to the sponsor. We will take your testimony and look forward to hearing from each of you who have something to say. So, okay. All right. Our first bill today, and we're going to start the clock now or as soon as I call the bill. What is the bill number for Briarcliff? 665. And it's 110 right now, by the way. All right, so we're going to start the clock now. Representative, would you please come present your bill?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I'm going to ask Alan Venet to join me. He will be the first speaker on behalf of the city of Briarcliff. I am very grateful for this opportunity and very grateful for your time. You're going to have an opportunity to learn a lot more about my district in DeKalb County than you ever thought you might have a good opportunity to learn, and I appreciate your time and your attention and your fair consideration. I thought that the hearing that the chairlady conducted for Tucker was a very fair and very good opportunity, and I look for similar opportunities in this long afternoon to understand some of the dynamics of DeKalb County and the wishes of my constituents. Many things are unique about our position before the General Assembly today. First, one of the uniqueness is I'm the only member of the General Assembly who actually lives in one of the proposed cities. And in fact, House District 82, from this map in relation to the support for Briarcliff, goes below the Emory campus up to through the overlapping areas of Lakeside. Would be the largest city of DeKalb if this body favorably reports the city of Briarcliff forward. It also is a city that overlaps with Lakeside significantly. And the three cities overlap in other ways too in relation to some commercial properties that you'll hear about. Previously, what has come before our committees and our General Assembly have been proposals for new cities that have had no overlapping borders and no real competitions in this committee, and competitions with other existing cities have come afterwards. For instance, after the creation of the city of Brookhaven, you know that Brookhaven and Chamblee engaged in some competition over some commercial areas. So that's part of our realities. We have a very good operation of existing cities in DeKalb County, all of whom have annexation plans, and we have good proposed city proposals, and there's a great deal of overlapping and confusion. And I give you those little bit of details because it is important to note that this set of propositions for you to consider is different and significantly different from previous actions of this committee. In effect, you are asked to redraw borders or to tell which group of citizens borders you prefer. And I think that's a very difficult job, and that's why I wanted to highlight that as a unique circumstance in relation to our posture today. There are two other matters I want to address just in terms of where we are historically in relation to the city of Briarcliff and its competition, fair competition with other cities and proposed cities, and some technical issues about this process we're involved in. The creation of cities in DeKalb County has been essentially up until now, previously to us, a northern partisan effort versus a more southern partisan opposition. These three cities are a much more complex mixture of Republicans and Democrats and a much greater mixture of diversities in terms of international populations. The proposed city of Briarcliff is about a third, roughly a third minority, but our minority compositions are African American, Asian, Hispanic, and we'll get further details on that. The commercial area, although it's nonprofit commercial area, is a between $3 and $4 billion entity of Emory University campus, which is 600 to 700 acres, that goes beyond Emory and includes the CDC and the Veterans Hospitals and Children's Health Care and many other entities in a very complex and energizing entity of universities, colleges, and healthcare institutions which are vital to this state. Emory is the largest employer in DeKalb County by far. The lack, and I've said this in past years and I say it more importantly this year, the lack of a comprehensive planning process for our citizens to engage in to make a proposal that is best for all three proposed cities or best for the rest of the county has been lacking. And prior to the 2012 session, I think, I introduced with several other legislators House Bill 22 that would have provided a very specific planning process for us to engage in. This set of dynamics of new cities and old cities and counties will come to your county. And what planning process will come for those, all of us included, between my district and your district, Representative Hightower, which is the spread of suburbans and suburban areas and diverse groups, will come to our counties, and the lack of a planning process is very significant. We will hear probably today, as we have previously, from the county who wishes to engage further in a planning process. And in fact, CEO Burl Ellis, before he left office, had one theoretically in place, and it was more than theoretically, he had operationally in place. So as you look at all of these proposals and try to make independent, fair judgments about how we proceed with one set of city proposals after another, you're going to have to do that without a comprehensive economic planning system for DeKalb County. And that is a problematical dynamic. The other matter that I think is more technical that I want you to be aware of, and I'm sure that there'll be ongoing discussions with Gina Wright, who's been incredibly helpful to me and to all of my folks. Thank you very much. Head of the reapportionment offices, is that the reapportionment office today wishes to draw maps or feels that it's obligated to draw maps in terms of census block data, and that is not precisely what I want in terms of a variety of different border issues. The other option of a meets and bounds description will protect various cities that wish to be protected in one way or another. And we have a technical problem here that we don't have to address today, but as we move forward in drawing these maps, how do we define the territories in the maps? Let me give you the good news, and I think this is very important. This is the most important thing I can say. The good news is that DeKalb County is actively engaged in a citizen-driven activity to decide how they wish to be governed. It is active, as you can see. It is engaged, as you can see. And it is positive for almost every regard. I think the engagement of citizens in choosing how they wish to be governed is a positive dynamic for our county. Whether our county is at the top of its life of service or whether it's kind of a little bit in the ditch every once in a while, it is a positive set of discussions. These folks are here because they are engaging in the political process. And as we know, it's difficult to make everyone happy in the political process. But I say to you that the 75,000 to 80,000 citizens of the proposed area of Briarcliff are engaged, are here to ask for your help, ask for your respectful consideration of the city they wish to create, and will give you many, many reasons, which I totally support, as to why House Bill 6065 in the city of Briarcliff is an appropriate step for the Georgia General Assembly to pass in 2014. And I'd like to begin at this time with a little bit of a planned presentation from the city of Briarcliff. If I may so, Madam Chair.
Certainly.
Thank you, Representative Oliver. Madam Chair, members of the committee, we very much appreciate this opportunity to speak to you. I am Alan Venet. I'm the president of the city of Briarcliff, but we are a broad, diverse group, and so I'm going to speak briefly, and then some other members of my group are going to fill in our official time. Rather than being Jack in the Box, they're going to line up and speak over there. But okay. I'll give you just a brief overview first. We're here to discuss local government in my community, and the community of most of the people in this room, North Central DeKalb. And we're here also to ask you to support cityhood. We believe that new cities in general, and the city of Briarcliff in particular, are a way forward to help our residents, our neighbors, and all of DeKalb County. The new cities are not the answer to every problem, but I think that the cities, new and old, that have shown that they do a better job of bringing efficient, effective, low-cost, locally driven government to their residents. Everyone in this room sadly knows that there are multiple cityhood proposals for our part of DeKalb County, and it is regrettable that the volunteers of the three groups have not been able to work out our differences. We all share the blame for that, and we do look to you as our elected representatives to make the right choices with regard to local government in DeKalb County. So as you do so, please remember that this is a bipartisan matter. As Representative Oliver mentioned, our area, all three areas, have many people who are Republicans and Democrats, and the Briarcliff movement has Republicans and Democrats. The core group of volunteers that has met at my dining room table literally more times than I can count includes many Republicans and Democrats. And I would say that if I can let these people into my house, the members of this committee can help us form a bipartisan city. So with that, as you make your choices, I think that we would encourage you to keep three key principles in mind, and they are bipartisan principles. The first principle is that everyone deserves a vote. Everyone in the area that is involved in all three cities deserves a vote. They deserve the right to say whether they are included in a city or not. Briarcliff is the only proposal inside the perimeter below the existing cities of Brookhaven, Doraville, and Chambly, thank you, and above Decatur and Avondale Estates. We're the only proposal that gives everyone in that area the right to vote, to say yes or no whether they want to be in a new city. And we think that that is very important. Local governments should work together, and that is why our volunteer group, in response to requests, has worked with Representative Oliver, Representative Drenner, Representative Henson, and the leadership of Decatur, Avondale Estates, and Clarkston, each of whom has published an annexation plan, and we have adjusted, tweaked, I'd like to say, the bottom border of our map to allow those cities to progress with their annexation plans, and we think that's appropriate because those plans would give those people the right to vote. So again, everybody in this part of the area should have the right to vote. The maps are dynamic, and we understand that. And again, though, as the committee is perhaps reluctantly forced to look at the maps, please keep in mind the idea that everyone should have the right to vote and not leave any areas out. The second point is that the borders should be logical. The borders should make sense. And again, I would submit that the Briarcliff map, more than any other, has borders that make sense. We all live together, and we're going to continue to live together wherever new city lines are drawn. And because of that, we really believe that the lines should be logical. We do not believe that there should be any orphan communities, that the county is still responsible for providing all services to those areas. Call them islands, call them peninsulas, what have you. That's not fair, that's not efficient. So again, everybody should be in. Or frankly, everybody should be out, but we think everybody should be in. And with that, honestly, and this is a little off script, members of this committee have said that they do not want to be the one to draw the maps. And I would submit that it's going to be very easy for you to allow everybody in the 3 overlapping cities to have a vote by simply approving Briarcliff and Tucker, and you only have to draw one line, and that line is as broad and as straight as an 8-lane expressway. So with that, it would be very easy to approve the maps. Finally, new cities should be financially strong. The rules of this House require that any new city proposal has to raise the funds and have a fiscal viability study done. And Briarcliff is very proud that the Carl Benson study of the Briarcliff proposal not only shows that we are financially strong, but it shows conclusively that we are financially stronger than any other proposal before you. So with that, again, in summary, if you would please see that any new cities, that everyone gets a right to vote, that the borders are sensible, and that the cities are strong, we think that Briarcliff is the one proposal and the only proposal that excels in all 3 of those, and we ask for your support, and we very much thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for your comments.